Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I am Michelle Majuk. I'm the Analyst part of the show. This is Nycole Bernstein. She is the Armchair part of the show. And we are entering week 7. The season is absolutely flying. We're almost midway. And at this point, we should know who the great teams are and the terrible teams are. And I feel like we have kind of an idea who the really bad teams are. Like the Titans, the Jets, the Saints, right? Like, yeah, they're most likely going to lose. Although I keep picking the Jets, and I may be picking them again this week. But the good teams, like the elite teams, I don't know. I don't know if we have any this year.
It's
and
very confusing.
It's all over the place. It's a roller coaster. Any given week, anyone can win. And that is what's amazing about the NFL. That's always been the case. But this year in particular, like the Bills losing 2 straight, the Eagles losing 2 straight, the Chiefs finally coming back on after looking bad, the Ravens being 1-5. What's happening?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and maybe it goes to show that the league is a little more quote unquote even than it has been in seasons past. But it also seems like people are making really silly mistakes. And that agrees with me.
Yeah,
so.
The computer agrees with you. Silly mistakes by head coaches, by quarterbacks. A lot of injuries too affecting things.
True.
Like I feel like injuries lately in the last couple of years are just messing everything up. But we are going to get into our week 7 predictions, of course, like we do every week. We were much better this week than the previous. Like we went on a little stretch there where we're pretty bad for 2 weeks. But
Yeah,
I was 11-4 this week with my game picks. You were 9-6.
it should have been 11-4.
Yeah.
Myself, but whatever.
No, I started off real bad with the Thursday and the Sunday morning game, both wrong. But I'm going to try to keep rolling with my hot streak. And you're going to, that was one of your best weeks yet.
I don't think that's true. I think I was fine the last couple. But yeah, I'm...
You've been more consistent than me.
Sure, yes.
I've just had higher weeks.
Right, yeah. I've just been consistently fine, which is not my normal go-to. So
before we get into the game picks, we do have a little bit of news to discuss. One player, one wide receiver that's going to be out, and then one wide receiver who's returning. The 2 teams look like they're going in opposite directions. We will get into that right now.
The opening drive.
All right, so we have Puka Nacua. Unfortunately, it looks like he's definitely going to miss the week 7 game in London against the Jaguars. And then they have a week 8 game. Or no, they have a bye in week 8. So that's why I feel like he's definitely going to miss this week. Even if he was slightly okay to go, they have a bye. They're going to keep him out. So the Rams will most likely be without Puka Nacua.
Right.
And Stafford and Devontae Adams have had a really hard time connecting. Don't you feel like every time you're watching the game, it's just drop?
It's so confusing. Like I was watching last week, and of course I have Devontae Adams for fantasy. So I have extra stake in those games and those passes. And I feel like I watched like 3 drops in a row. And I was like, what is happening right now?
And that's never been Devontae Adams started his career with dropsy issues for sure. But then he's a Hall of Fame wide receiver at this point. And he still will be no matter what he does this year.
Right.
It's not like it's a terrible year. But in terms of completion percentage between these two, it's at 47%. Second worst in the league behind only Cam Ward and Calvin Ridley. Third worst is, of course, Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. in this same game, which we'll get to. But since over the last 2 years, including the playoffs, Matthew Stafford is 2-3 record without Puka Nacua. So it'll be interesting to see if the Rams can come through. But I do feel like they're just disappointing overall this year. Even they are 4-2, but
and they didn't start that way. I think that's what was so confusing. Is I thought like the Rams will be meh, and I'm pretty sure I picked against them the first few weeks because I was like, it's just the Rams. And then I was like, wait, are the Rams going to be good? And now it's kind of like, oh no, I think they might be evening out where I thought they would be.
Yeah, like their wins 5 points against the Texans week 1. Texans offense was looking terrible. They beat the Titans cool. They beat the Colts. That's their one good win on the season. But again, they should not have beat them if AD Mitchell was not the worst player of all time for 2 plays. And then the Ravens without Lamar Jackson. And they could only score 17 points against that defense.
Which is not good.
No.
So I think with Puka Nacua out, it's looking a little sketchy for the Rams.
And we will talk about that game later. And it probably, I think we're giving it away that we're going to go the Jaguars side, but we'll dig in why a bit more later on. Now, the opposite way, the Chiefs are trending up. And of course, they were going to. Anytime we get excited that they're looking bad, they always come back. And, you know, they beat up on the Ravens, and that was still when they had Lamar Jackson for the majority of that game. Then they lose to the Jaguars, though, on Monday night. So we're like, 3-point game. And then they beat up on the Lions. They're very confusing. But now they get back Rashee Rice. That will be huge.
Mm-hmm.
And now, I mean, it's a loaded wide receiver core now with Rashee Rice at the top. Then you got Xavier Worthy second, and then Hollywood Brown, and then Juju Smith-Schuster, and then Tyquan Thornton is your deep threat, and then Travis Kelce. And Patrick Mahomes is already number 1 in the league in offensive yards and offensive touchdowns and offensive first downs this year. So,
yeah, for those of us that love to hate the Chiefs when they lose, well, really anytime, but it's an unfortunate time for us because I think they're unfortunately trending up, going to make a run here, and we'll see what happens.
What we'll really find out, even though I say that, and I feel like the Bills always beat the Chiefs in the regular season and then lose in the postseason, but they have a game against the Bills in week 9. And I want to see what those two teams look like against each other.
It'll be interesting for sure. I think
your Commanders play them next week.
I know they do. I already saw it.
Primetime game.
I'm hoping is a good game, but like the Commanders, and we'll get to it later, they broke my little heart the other day. So, you know, it's like, but again, like what's going to happen? Like, it doesn't matter what opinion you have because you're probably going to be wrong. Right.
I know.
Like it's just wild.
It is wild that the Jaguars just beat them 2 weeks ago because it feels like the Chiefs are on this super hot streak. And then you're like, but they just lost to the Jaguars. Who the Jaguars only have 2 losses as well.
Right.
And again, we just talked about them against the Rams. We do expect them to win. So we shall see. But that's it for the news. It's pretty light with news. Brian Callahan was fired for the Titans. But I feel like it's so newsworthy because, like, yeah, duh. The Titans stink. He should have been fired after last season. And I don't think they're going to get any better with their interim head coach. So,
I mean, probably not. But you were wrong because you thought the Dolphins head coach.
Yeah, I thought Mike McDaniel would be the first one.
Would be the first, and he was not.
Okay, after this week, sorry.
Good for him. He's hanging. You know, he's just there to have a good time. I feel like.
I just don't know what the Titans thought. Like, obviously, you're going to lose a lot of games,
right? I don't know,
but yeah, they moved on.
But
obviously.
they're in the same division as the Texans, so they can stink all day, and I'm happy with it.
You just have to root against the Jaguars and Colts now. Colts are on fire, and that game is going to be so fun against the Colts and the Chargers. That's going to be one of the top games that we talk about today. And we're going to just dig into these games right now because there's some really, really fun matchups in Week 7. So let's get into it.
Between the 20s.
I want to start with the game that I'm most excited for. Now, I wish there weren't so many injuries on both sides, on the offense for the Bucs and the defense for the Lions. But it should still be a very high-scoring game. Buccaneers versus Lions on Sunday Night Football. I mean, this should be such a classic. But at the same time, if Baker Mayfield does not have Mike Evans, does not have Emeka Egbuka, does not have Chris Godwin, doesn't have Jalen McMillan, who he hasn't had all year, but was a connection with him at the end of last year.
Bucky Irving.
And doesn't have Bucky Irving. Like, how much deeper can we go and ask for Baker? And it's in Detroit. So you and I are both taking the Lions to win this game.
But you're not going for your guy? Mr. Playmaker himself?
Let me say right now, if he wins this game, he should 100% be at the top of the MVP talk. He already kind of is. But like, if he can win this game with no weapons against the Lions, who you know is going to put up points in Detroit, he's 100% like right up there for MVP.
And I don't disagree with you in that. I just think with them being so depleted, you know, they've got to come in and play very, very well with people that I don't even know who are on the team, quite frankly.
Like Tez Johnson and Cameron Johnson and Sterling Shepard and Kate Otten.
Yeah, basically who? Sorry, guys. You know, so it's like I'm happy to be rooting against the Bucs this week and feeling really confident about it because, you know, I've chosen them a few times to lose and they've won, which is infuriating.
I had to pick them against my 49ers last week, and it came through, but they were just a better team at the moment because the 49ers were so depleted. And right now, there's the Buccaneers on offense. Baker I think he's so good, but the Lions are going to put up 40 points at home. I just don't think.
Right. I think what they can't do is what they did last week, which is stall in the second half and not get anything going, because that's what happened to them last week. And then, we saw the outcome.
Luckily, so the 2 games they lost this year, the Lions were on the road. And that's been the Lions MO, is that they're so good at home.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kind of struggle on the road. They can still win in any given week on the road, but 2 hard matchups against the Packers and the Chiefs that they lost. And then at home, they've taken care of business. I mean, they're 2-0. Destroyed both teams they played at home, the Bears and the Browns. So it's not like the Bears is, but they destroyed the Bears 52-21. And then you're expected to destroy the Browns. But Jared Goff at home, 131 passer rating, 7 passing touchdowns over those 2 games. And he's always been so good at home. So I just expect this game to be a high scoring game. And I expect it to be close for a little while. And then the Lions to kind of take over in the fourth quarter.
I think they take over probably in the second half, just in general. But yeah, I think that's okay. I'll get behind that.
Okay. So we're both picking the Lions. I'm trying to see here what the line is at. It's -5.5 for the Lions.
I mean, that feels, it feels like they should cover that, but you never know.
All right. Now, next game. This is a huge game, actually. Because we're going to get to the Eagles-Vikings game. And if the Eagles lose, whatever team wins this game is sitting really pretty. And it's between the Commanders and the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are picking different winners.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel great about this. I am taking the Cowboys. You are taking the Commanders.
Of course.
Let me know why you're going with the Commanders besides that you're a fan of the Commanders.
Besides I love them.
Yeah.
Well, they have won every other game they've played this week or this season, and this is their off week to win.
Mm-hmm.
So
they win the odd weeks.
For that reason, they're going to win just superstitiously. But they should have won the other night against the Bears.
They really should have.
That turnover at the very end was just like a knife in the, not even the back, but the front, right? Just oh my gosh, that hurts so bad. The Commanders have actually looked really good without Terry McLaurin. I've been impressed, at least, with Luke McCaffrey stepping up.
Touchdown every week, man.
Who thought that was going to happen? Nobody. But I'm real stoked about
I bet you Christian did.
Maybe, and their mom.
Yeah.
So I've been excited to see that. And Dallas will struggle this week, I think, with their pass rush against the Commanders. I also think the Commanders need to come out and score early. I think they'll keep Dallas out of the game if they do that, because in close games, Dallas has not done well.
I get you, right? And if I had to put something really serious down on this, I probably would go Commanders, but this is my thought process with going with the Cowboys, is that the Cowboys offense has been so on fire, right? They're averaging nearly 35 points per game over the last 3 games. They could be getting back CeeDee Lamb. Now the Commanders could be getting back Terry McLaurin. That would be huge for both sides.
Which would make the game very fun.
Oh, so much fun. And yes, the Cowboys defense, so bad. Jaden Daniels should be able to go off. He should be able to put up 30 points. My question is, if the Cowboys can put up 40 points, can Jaden Daniels go head to head with that and keep going, right? Especially if McLaurin is out, especially with, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, who we're loving, right? Bill, he has fumbled and lost a fumble in each of the last 2 weeks. And then we had the Jaden Daniels fumble. We don't know if that could have been called on Bill as well, but they put it on Jaden Daniels. I don't know if they can go head to head and put up 40 points.
But I think they won't have to, because I think their defense will step up against Dallas. I do.
Their offense looks so good right now. Their offense looks so. I'm going with the Cowboys.
Yeah, but think about this way: how good was Baltimore's offense the first few games? They were putting up crazy numbers, but their defense couldn't sustain. And now they're garbage.
Well, they don't have Lamar Jackson, so.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
The Commanders are
will lose
1.5 point favorites on the road.
Yeah.
Cowboys,
That's
give it to me. Money line, plus 108.
oh,
I like it.
bold.
Now, I do not feel confident in this one. I might say I'm just a homer on this one. It's the Falcons at the 49ers. And the Falcons just came out and like beat the Bills. Like it wasn't, it seemed like a close game. The score seemed close, but they always had the edge in that game. They had control of that game pretty
100%.
steadily. The Falcons are looking good. It's crazy that they lost 30-0 against the Panthers and then beat up on the Commanders and then beat up on the Bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're looking pretty good. But the 49ers could be getting back George Kittle.
Mm-hmm.
That seems pretty, like I'm wearing my George Kittle jersey because it seems like it's definitely going to happen that he will be back. We'll see about Ricky Pearsall. We'll see about Jawan Jennings. We'll see about Brock Purdy, but they're starting to get healthier on offense and we can be getting pieces back, and getting George Kittle back is massive, not only for the passing game, but for their run offense too. He's one of the best blockers on the team. It will help out the run game that's been struggling, but they don't have Fred Warner.
Right.
Every time we get good news, bad news.
Right.
So the two best players by far on the 49ers defense, Nick Bosa and Fred Warner, are now out for the season.
Right.
So their hopes of the Super Bowl, are looking pretty bleak at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in this game, all they have to do is control Bijan Robinson.
100%.
And I think they got it. And their run defense is better than their pass.
Right.
So
Right.
you're also going with the 49ers.
I am for a few reasons, some of which you've already said. They're at home, which I think is really good timing for them.
Yeah.
To be at home again, like you said, Kittle might be back. Yeah, I feel conflicted
If Kittle's
Brock
not back
Purdy,
and it's still just Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne and Demarcus Robinson, I am taking it back and saying the Falcons. But I do expect it to be at least George Kittle. I do expect them to get back one of Jennings or Pearsall.
right.
I don't know about Purdy, but I think it's okay as long as they get back a couple of those pieces on offense.
Oh, I agree, because I think Mac Jones has done better than anyone thought he would, number one. Number two, and I think he's been able to connect with guys that, again, you're like, oh man, we don't have anybody. And then here comes Bourne, just like, I play football, it's like, okay, like this is great for you. But I do think getting Kittle back is a huge, if nothing else, it spreads the defense because he's a threat, right? And that just helps open everybody up, just his presence on the field. So, and then like you said, Bijan was a monster last week against the Bills. They could not figure it out.
And when we were talking about that game, I said the one way the Falcons can win is run all over them with Bijan and Tyler Algier, and that's exactly what they did.
And good for them, right? To have that game plan and to actually execute it, right? So yeah, the 49ers, their big task for this week is stopping Bijan and Tyler Algier. And if they can do that, I think they can win this game.
It is wild that they're 4-2 with all these injuries. And then also, like, they have not had an interception in 13 games. It's been 13 straight games for that interception.
It's a lot.
Do we think they get one in this game? Do you think Michael Penix throws one? Please, just give it to him.
I'll speak that into existence. Yeah.
13
I feel
games.
good about it.
It's the longest streak since at least 1950 without an
Well, you said
interception.
that last week about somebody. Was it the Jets defense?
Well, they didn't have a takeaway. Yeah, this is just interceptions. But
right. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the Jets got one.
And then it happened.
And
So
the first drive.
let it be.
And
Let
I
it
want
be.
to say, when we get to the Jets, I did pick the Jets to beat the Broncos, and they should have. They played the game that I thought they could play. They kept the Broncos from doing anything. They got the turnover. I just needed Justin Fields not to throw for negative 10 yards. That's all I needed.
Which is wild.
That's like, I'm sorry. I didn't predict for him to throw for negative 10 yards.
Maybe you should have.
I'm still going to pick the Jets again this week.
Can't wait.
All right. Texans versus Seahawks. Another really, really fun game. And you are picking against your home team this week.
And I don't know why I did that. I think I just I'm still skeptical.
Yeah, you're
of
wearing their
them.
hat and you didn't choose them. You're picking the Seahawks to win over the Texans.
I know.
I am picking the Texans because I am a Texas girl.
Yeah. Oh my God, yuck! That
I
just
know.
sounded
Yeah,
gross.
that's weird. And I'm not a Texas girl in the slightest.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, I think the hard thing is for me is that like, while I'm so excited for the Texans, and quite frankly, I hope I'm wrong. Um, I'm just not convinced that they can go and win out on the road.
Okay.
So I think that's a factor for me. This is going to be a great offense versus a great defense of game.
Mhm.
I think the biggest thing is keeping JSN open against Derek Stingley this week will be huge.
Mhm.
I'm really hoping that Petrie can't get one of Sam Darnold's interceptions.
You're not going to be rooting against the Texans. You know you're watching this
I'm
game.
not.
Yeah.
I really do hope they win, but I'm just nervous to pick them again. And yeah, so I think defensively, I think obviously the Texans have the edge here. So it'll be really interesting to see Seattle against a really good defense, because so far I feel like they've played some like meh or like okay defenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My thing with this game is that the Seahawks have one passing play on offense, and it is to pass to Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Right.
That is it. Like he has,
But it's been working for them, quite frankly.
he has 45% of the team's receiving yards this year. It's the most in the league. Justin Jefferson second at 40, so 5% higher, and then Jamar Chase is second, and then Justin Jefferson at 40.1. So it's insane right now. It's just JSN.
Mhm.
Now, when you have such an elite corner, I think Derek Stingley might be the best corner in the league.
Mhm.
Most people think it's Pat Surtain. It's very, very close. I think it's Derek Stingley. I think that he's absolutely amazing. And right now, he is allowing the lowest passer rating among all cornerbacks this year as the nearest defender, actually over the last 2 years. And Pat Surtain is second, so he's there. But Derek Stingley is allowing a 51.6 passer rating over the last 2 years as the nearest defender. Patrick Surtain is second at 66. So it's still a huge jump. And I think if Derek Stingley can control Jackson Smith and Jigba, this offense isn't going to be able to move at all. So that's why I'm going with the Texans. And I mean, CJ Stroud's been on this game the last 2 games.
He has, but it's because he's been throwing the ball. And
That's great. Throw the ball.
I don't feel good about it.
I feel good about it.
I'm
Offense
glad.
looks much better. I hope they utilize Woody Marks more.
Right.
I feel good. I think the Texans win this game on the road. And weirdly enough, the Seahawks over the last couple of years have been a better road team than a home team.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, but also I think the Texans have looked not stellar against the run. And I think Kenneth Walker can have a better game.
You know what's amazing is the coaches are so stupid and they're like, Zach Charbonnet, take half the snaps and gain 1 yard per carry.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, he had that one great game, the first week.
Yeah.
But
so the Texans are 3.5-point underdogs. I'm taking that. Taking it for sure.
See, I wouldn't. I think this will be a very close game. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it.
Okay. The game maybe I'm most excited for outside of my favorite team's games is the Colts versus Chargers.
Yeah.
Because these two teams are very, very confusing, right? The Colts shouldn't be confusing. They've been dominating.
Right.
But it's like we still can't get it through our brains that they're the number 1 team in the AFC.
Oh, yeah.
And they've been winning all the games. And they should honestly be 6-0 again if it wasn't for A.D. Mitchell just being an idiot. They could be 6-0. And like they look so good. It doesn't even seem like a fluke. Like when you're watching them, you're like, wow, they are killing it.
Yeah.
And now the Chargers on the opposite end, they started off strong. Last couple of weeks, though, do not look good whatsoever. They have a lot of injuries across the offensive line. We'll see if they can get Joe Alt back in their starting guard and Trey Pipkins.
Easy for you to say.
Mm-hmm. But I'm taking the Colts, and so are you.
I am. I mean, like you said, this should be a very close game. I think it's going to be a great game. But the Chargers struggled against the Dolphins last week.
They were so close to losing against
the
Dolphins.
Dolphins. And you guys know I don't like the Dolphins. I think they're garbage. But yeah, I think the Chargers injuries have just like made them so vulnerable. And that's unfortunate because like we see a team like the 49ers who are like depleted. I mean, talk about depleted. But somehow, some way they find a way to win. And that has just not been the case for the Chargers. And so, I think they're kind of resigning to looking like the old Chargers that we know and don't love. So I think the Colts have definitely the advantage here, even though it's an away game. The Colts get a lot of first downs, a lot.
They're a real good offense.
Very good offense. And so I think that'll just wear the Chargers defense down. And I think Jonathan Taylor has a monster game this week against the Chargers. So for all those reasons, I'm going Colts.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts have just not been so good. They have a plus 78 point differential this year. It's first in the league, but like by a ton. They're the only team with plus 50 or higher point differential. Their offense is number one in the league. They've scored 194 points through the first 6 games of the season. That's the most by the Colts in a season through the first 6 games in the Super Bowl era. And they've had a lot of good quarterbacks. It's not like they haven't. They've had Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. They had Andrew Luck, who probably would have turned into a Hall of Famer if he didn't have to retire so early because of all the injuries. They had Johnny Unitas back in the day and Earl Morrall. Like, they've had good quarterbacks. They've had really good quarterbacks.
I'm only 33, Michelle.
And now Daniel Jones, about to be 34.
Okay.
And now Daniel Jones has, led this team to the most points they've ever had in the Super Bowl era through the first 6 weeks. It's crazy. So I do think what they're doing is legit.
A quote unquote backup.
Yeah.
I mean, right? Like ish, kind of.
Daniel Jones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone coming, maybe there's some Daniel Jones truthers out there, but anyone coming into the season, I feel like was like, the Colts are going to suck because they don't have a quarterback.
Right.
Like the fact that Daniel Jones beat out Anthony Richardson, what a joke. And then all of a sudden it's like,
no, I said I didn't like Anthony Richardson, so we're clear. Not that I was
no one likes him,
riding the Daniel Jones train, but yeah.
And a huge part of this, you brought up Jonathan Taylor. The Chargers' run defense has really been struggling this year, allowing the 5th most yards per carry on the season, giving up a ton of touchdowns, giving up a ton of first downs on the run. So Jonathan Taylor's been balling out. There's no reason he's not going to keep doing that.
100%.
All right, next game, Eagles versus the Vikings. We are different here. I'm taking the Eagles. Don't feel great about it. You're taking the Vikings.
Yeah.
Are you taking the Vikings without knowing who the quarterback is, though? Because we don't know yet.
I actually am.
Okay.
Yeah. Even though I don't feel super great about if it's JJ McCarthy. Sorry, bud. But I think
it does seem like it's going to be him because Carson Wentz is dealing with an injury.
I know.
Yeah.
I just really enjoyed watching Carson Wentz.
That's something that no one's ever said in their
lifetime.
lifetime.
You didn't let me finish my sentence. I enjoyed watching him connect with guys like Justin Jefferson, who are just, I mean, it's kind of like watching Jamar Chase, like hope and pray for the ball from somebody that can't throw the football. I felt that way, honestly, the first couple games for Justin Jefferson. And so, I think I am still taking the Vikings at home against the Eagles because I don't know what the Eagles have been doing the last 2 weeks. They need to win. I don't think they will. But they're on the road against a team that just came off a bye week. So they're more rested. The run game has been embarrassing from the Eagles. I don't know what they're doing, not utilizing Saquon Barkley more. I mean, they came in last week and didn't score a point in the second half. Like, you just can't do that. Not even field goals, I mean, just like it's bad. And so I feel really good about taking the Vikings this week against the who are you and what are you doing Eagles.
This is the thing. I don't feel good about either of these teams because I do think JJ McCarthy is going to be the starter. They did struggle the first couple weeks on offense with him as the starter. And like you brought up, Justin Jefferson's numbers were way worse with JJ McCarthy than they were with Carson Wentz. And I get it. Like the Eagles right now, their culture seems so bad. Something's going on. It is not pretty.
Mm-mm.
And that's the only way I see them losing is just like everyone's just miserable and they don't feel like playing and no one puts in effort. But they are the better roster, in my opinion. And like you already said, Justin Jefferson is worse with JJ McCarthy. And not only that, he's going to have Quinyon Mitchell on him for the Eagles. And Quinyon Mitchell is so incredibly good. So if he shadows him, that's going to be really tough for JJ McCarthy. You know, he has to find Addison. He has to find TJ Hawkinson, who has had no connection with. So it's going to be difficult. So that's why I'm going to go with the Eagles overall, even though I don't feel good about this team in general.
Right.
I just feel good about this matchup.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think this one is maybe a toss-up.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
All right, let's get into some other games. We'll go a little bit quicker here with these because they're not as competitive, but they're still fun. All the games are fun. We love NFL.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Steelers against the Bengals. We're both picking the Steelers. Look at you, finally picking the Steelers. Thursday Night Football.
I don't want to. Only
You're
because
such a hater.
No, only because I like the Steelers. Fine. It's Aaron Rodgers that I hate.
I know.
I want him to be garbage, and he's been fine.
He's been fine.
And I'm not excited about it. So, but it's a home game for Cincinnati.
Mhm.
But the Steelers should easily win this game. I mean, Cincinnati's giving up so many yards defensively this year. I think Aaron Rodgers will exploit that. I will say, I thought Joe Flacco was fine. I know you roll your eyes, but you just are so mean, I think, sometimes to people. I'm like, this is the NFL, girlfriend. Nobody is necessarily bad. I mean, they're
compared
bad
to other people.
Well, of course. But he looked decent in Cincinnati last week. He played statistically better than he did in Cleveland. Obviously, that's one game versus the few that he played in Cleveland. But I think, honestly, that has more to do with the fact that he has receivers, really good receivers in Cincinnati, in T. Higgins, in Jamar Chase, and others. But yeah, I think this should be an easy win for the Steelers.
If the offense doesn't implode on themselves, it
Sure.
will be. And I don't think it will against this Bengals defense. That is very likely without Trey Hendrickson this week, which is their only good player on defense.
Right.
But the Bengals are already allowing 30.5 points per game this year, third most in the league. And what they really stink at is tackling. And what the Steelers love to do is throw the ball short and let their guys do stuff after the catch. So the Steelers lead the league with 72% of their yards or passing yards coming after the catch. And the Bengals allow the most yards after the catch this year. So I think defensively, the Bengals just don't really stand a chance. And then on offense, I get it. Joe Flacco didn't throw an interception, right? And that's all they wanted because Jake Browning couldn't stop throwing them.
Right.
However, would you believe me if I said the Packers only have two defensive turnovers all season long? And that's who Joe Flacco played last week. So they have been really, really bad at getting turnovers. And so maybe Flacco not turning over the ball had nothing to do with himself. I promise you Flacco's going to have a turnover or two in this game. And it's going to be the exact same thing as Jake Browning.
I mean, I hope not, just for his sake and all of Cincinnati and
Oh,
Jamar
who
Chase,
cares?
but he probably will.
You probably will.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Packers, they're the next game that we're
Yeah.
going to talk about. Packers against the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm.
And I am taking the Cardinals. And you are taking the Packers.
Shockingly.
It is shocking.
For
And
you.
This is one of those games
Mm-hmm.
that it's just a feeling. It's a gut feeling. There's always these trap games. And these games where okay, one team should easily beat the other.
Mm-hmm.
This is on the road.
Mm-hmm.
And the Packers 2 losses or
Mhm.
1 loss and 1 tie have come out on the road this year. They've been good at home. And like I said, they can get turnovers.
Right.
And the Cardinals have been getting really, really unlucky this year. They've lost 3 games by just a field goal at the end, a walk-off field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And then last week they got stopped at the Colts 9-yard line because they needed the touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
They got stopped to take the lead there. But it's been close games. They've been playing close games. I actually feel better if it's Jacoby Brissett than I do if it's Kyler Murray. And that's pretty bad.
Well, I think either is going to struggle against the pass rush of the Packers. I think they're going to turn the ball over in that situation. And I think the Packers have been too consistent, whereas the Cardinals have been, like you said, like they've lost games, at the very end. But I think that's because they can't figure it out. So yeah, even though this is away for the Packers, I do think it'll be closer than people think it will be. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the Cardinals coming out on top for sure.
Yeah, it's just one of those games that I just have. Like, it's always any given Sunday, right? And that's one of those where I feel the Cardinals are 6.5-point underdogs. I'm taking it.
6.5?
Yeah,
you're taking it.
I'm taking the 6.5-point underdogs.
That's bold. I do have to say.
You think
if they could win, it's going to be by maybe a field goal.
Well, no, the Cardinals are getting 6.5 points. So the 6.5 points.
Yes,
underdogs.
yes. Okay, yes, fair. Okay.
And plus 245 odds for money line. I might just take that because I think the Cardinals are going to win. Wow. I really do.
Okay. That's bold as a lot. That's really bold.
Let's get into this Rams Jaguars game that we were discussing a little bit at the top here in our news segment. It's in London. It's another early game that we have to wake up for, and I have to work. I'm not bitter at all.
You should already be awake, Michelle. At 8:30? Grow up. How old are you?
We are not going to discuss how long you slept in every day for the last 6 months while you were unemployed.
Okay. Laid off, people. That was rude. I'm just putting my business out there.
Okay.
These people don't need to know.
Well, you have a new job now. That's great.
I know.
But don't act all high and mighty because you have to wake up early now.
I'm not. I'm just saying you're in it. Okay. I never slept past like 8:30. Are you serious?
We can't even have this on here because Nycole, you would sleep till 10 all the time,
like twice ever. Oh my god,
9:30 all the time.
You're
9:30,
so
10.
dumb.
We won't keep this in.
Okay, I'm sorry you have to wake up so early. On
a Saturday or on a Sunday.
O'clock.
On a Sunday, that's a big deal.
Yeah, you work.
But I have to wake up that early every day. I would like to sleep in on a Sunday.
Well, then sleep in on a Friday.
I have to work.
Yeah, like for 5 seconds. It's fine. Anyway, for this game, I'm going Jags. You're going Rams.
No, I'm going Jags.
Did you change it?
I did.
You changed it. You're the worst.
I'm going Jaguars.
You're the absolute worst. God, I can't stand you.
I'm going Jaguars because there was not enough.
Puka Nacua is out.
Yeah, exactly.
Big bummer for the Rams. They're both 4-2, which is kind of a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that the Jags should be 4-2, but again, we've talked about that the beginning of their schedule was just kind of like cakewalk, so to speak. But I do think it that continues against the Rams this week for reasons we've already kind of said. I do think though, Trevor Lawrence has figured out how to get the ball to Brian Thomas Jr., which has only helped them. On offense, and I think this is his quote unquote breakout game against the Rams. So I think he's had less than like 90 yards every game. So I think this is the one where he can do it.
It'd be great if they can connect more. But yeah, with the Rams, without Puka Nacua, it's going to be a struggle because, like we said, like this Stafford-Adams connection is just not looking good. Mm-hmm. And when you look at the Rams' wins, they really are uninspiring against the Texans. I'll say it again. 5 points in week 1. Right. It was a 5 I mean, all they had to do was score 14 points in that game. They beat up on the Titans. Cool, everyone does. They lost to the Eagles. They beat the Colts because A.D. Mitchell's an idiot. How many times could I get that in this episode?
I'm
Drink every time.
Hashtag A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Justice for A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah. They lost to the 49ers, completely depleted with injuries. And then, they put up 17 points against the Ravens that were dying with injuries too. And the offense just couldn't do anything. So I don't believe in the Rams, and the Jaguars are really, really good at getting takeaways on defense, and Stafford is known to throw a couple interceptions here or there. So I think this could be a big interception game for Stafford against the Jaguars in London. We're both going with the Jaguars.
Which is infuriating.
Well, sorry. Sorry, I'm smart. Patriots versus the Titans. Patriots. Yeah, shocker.
I mean, Tennessee just fired their head coach, which we talked about a little bit earlier. I think they're going to be, some people say like, oh, they fire the head coach and it gives some like weird inspiration.
But not in this
Cam
game.
Ward has more interceptions than touchdowns. I don't know that firing the head coach will help him with that, with throwing the ball appropriately. And Drake May and the Patriots have such a good momentum going right now. So I don't even care that the Titans are at home this week.
No, not at all. And the thing with Cam Ward, like he could still be good. That's not the point. Like Drake May is great this year. Last year, the Patriots lost a lot of games, even with Drake May.
Right.
They don't have any weapons for Cam Ward. And Calvin Ridley is likely to miss this game. And so I don't care who the head coach is. They don't have a run game. They don't have weapons. They don't have a defense. Like you just are a really bad roster.
Right.
So unless you have, you struck gold on your quarterback like the Bengals did with Joe Burrow, or, in a situation like that, you're kind of screwed. And this is also a Mike Vrabel revenge game.
True.
The head coach for the Patriots got fired by the Titans, revenge game. Patriots have won 3 straight. The Titans have won 1 game all year long, and it was because the Cardinals had a colossal meltdown.
Right.
So, I mean, the Patriots.
Yeah. Easy.
Let me look up this line real quick because I do want to see it, because I think I would take it all the way up to 8.5 points.
Oh.
What are you going to take it for?
I feel like 10.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
wild?
They're 7
Am
point.
I wild?
So the Patriots are 7-point favorites. So we're both easily taking.
Oh, yeah.
Because I said 8.5, you said 10. So we're taking that 7.
Yeah, 100%.
Feel great about it. 7-point road favorites as the Patriots. Look at them changing it up. But Drake May has been a beast. He's been so good at throwing it deep. And guess who is one of the worst defenses against the deep pass? It's the Titans.
The Titans.
Drake May, start
Listen,
him in
they can lose
fantasy.
all day.
Start him in fantasy.
Cute.
All right, Giants versus the Broncos. You are shockingly taking the Giants. So I'm going to let you go first here because I don't understand that logic. It is in Denver. Jackson Dart goes into Denver, and you're saying he's going to win this game.
Yeah. I mean, did
Yeah.
you see? Stop. Did you see Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo? How cute they were at the
They're
end
adorable.
of that game the other day. The other day, it was a while ago. But I think Denver, this is one of those games that I think, like, on paper, it doesn't make sense to take the Giants, but I just, quote unquote, have a feeling. Is that what you said earlier? Yeah.
Mhm.
So I really like those two combined. Denver, while winning games, they make so many silly mistakes that put themselves in a bad spot. I think that continues this week. The Giants will pressure Bo Nix to throw the ball quickly. He will make turnovers. I think he throws at least 2 interceptions.
Bo
Is that
Nix?
wild?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
wild.
I know it's wild.
I don't even like Bo Nix, but
No, I know. I do think they'll turn the ball over, though. And if they keep it close, I think the Giants could steal this one on the road for sure.
see, I'm not even giving them a shot. So the Giants are
It wouldn't be fun if you were.
7-point underdogs. So the Broncos are favored by 7 points. And I think they handle it. I don't know if I'd be willing to take that spread, but Dart has been fun. Don't get me wrong. And he's been really good on the ground and using his legs and getting out of trouble. But this Broncos defense is no joke. And it's on the road against the Broncos. And the Broncos are allowing the second fewest points per game, the second fewest total yards per game, the fewest yards per play. They have the most sacks in the league by far. So they're going to pressure Jackson Dart like crazy.
Mhm.
And Jackson Dart under pressure this year has the 5th lowest passer rating. And
Okay, in like 2 games.
yeah, exactly. It's a small sample size. Also, Jackson Dart doesn't have any weapons. So that's all. He doesn't have Malik Neighbors.
Fair.
And
Fair.
besides, like Cam Scattaboo, it looked so good last week against the Eagles, but I do think the Broncos, they are a tougher defense. They're going to come at him hard.
Mhm.
And this pass rush, I just think is way, way too good for the Broncos to lose. Like, I feel very, very confident the Broncos will handedly win this game against the Giants.
Okay. Well,
Do you want to change your mind after
no,
that?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I'm giving you the chance to change your pick.
Well, I'm not you. So I pick what I pick and then I stick with it.
All right.
So
All right, fair.
here I am.
I like it.
That's right.
That's
right.
You are not a quitter. Dolphins versus the Browns. We're both going with the Browns.
Browns.
I mean, this is just a terrible team versus a terrible team.
You're welcome, Dad.
But we are both going with the Browns. Yeah.
Mhm.
Daddy Bernstein, let's go.
Please don't ever say that again.
Daddy Bernstein.
Ew. Bernie, if anything.
Bernie.
Yeah, I think, while Dylan Gabriel's new, we know what we're going to get with Tua. And I think the Browns will pressure him enough to win this game. I think they'll turn the ball over a few times. And I mean, they're at home, right? So I definitely think they have the advantage. And you know how much I don't like the Dolphins. So,
And what's crazy about the Browns is that their defense at home versus on the road, the splits are insane. They're an insanely good defense at home. And on the road, they're pretty bad, honestly. Like, it's crazy how different it is. So, and the Dolphins, exact opposite. I mean, well, their offense is so incredibly good at home,
right.
and just not as good whatsoever on the road. So the Dolphins are 0-3 on the road this season. And the Browns obviously have only one win, but it's not like the Dolphins are winning either.
Right.
And their one win did come at home against the Packers because their defense was able to play so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Quinton Junkins is going to go absolutely off against this Dolphins defense. And that's what they need to do. Feed the ball to your rookie. That's looks so good.
Right.
And this Dolphins defense is so incredibly bad. They can handle it.
Totally.
I am going to look up the points again. The Browns are 2.5-point favorites.
I mean, I think that's right in the sense that like the Dolphins kept up with the Chargers last week. I think that says more about the Chargers than it does the Dolphins, but I'd take it though.
Yeah, I'd take
it.
the Browns win by more than
More
three
than
or
2.5?
more?
Yeah.
I'm
down.
Yeah, I don't think they're like going to kill him, but
Sure.
I think a 5-point, 6-point game could happen.
Yeah.
Raiders versus the Chiefs. Yeah, boring. Chiefs.
Listen,
easy.
my only note is Geno Smith.
Geno Smith.
He's so
bad.
so.
Listen.
Could you have pictured, 7-8 weeks ago, if I would have said, Michelle, I think Daniel Jones is going to be significantly better than Geno Smith this year,
Mm-hmm.
you would have looked at me like a crazy person. And here we are.
Yeah, I mean, if I ever admitted to Sam Darnold being better than any quarterback, and I'm going to do that, he's better than Geno Smith for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he is not working out in this Raiders offense now.
His best game, I think, had one interception.
Yeah, Chip Kelly and him are not meshing whatsoever.
It's not good.
And the Chiefs are, I know they lost a couple weeks ago to the Jaguars, but they do look so much better on offense. They're going to put up the points. They're going to be able to run on them too, which they have not been able to do with their running game. But I do actually think Isaiah Pacheco is a sneaky good play this week in fantasy. And
I think you just dropped him.
no, I still have him.
You didn't? Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
I'm thinking about starting. I just picked him up, actually, is what I did.
Oh, well, must have been somebody else.
I would never draft Isaiah Pacheco.
Well, sure.
I'm not an idiot.
I
I did not draft him, but I did pick him up now.
can't wait to go and see who did. I feel like Michelle called you an idiot.
Yeah. No, but the Raiders finally won a game last week, and we did call that, but it was against Titans. Cool.
Right.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? The Chiefs are winning this game
Yep.
because Geno Smith just cannot get it together.
The end.
Patrick Mahomes looks good. The end.
I know.
Saints versus the Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears.
Mhm.
The Bears probably didn't deserve to win last week, but
Ugh.
they keep figuring out ways to win because they also probably didn't deserve to win against the Raiders before their bye week either. But they're figuring out ways to win at the end of games. And the Saints have won one game so far, and it was against the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
So, you love them.
I love them. You're so dramatic. I picked them 1 week and now I love them. Here's the thing. The Bears did a really, really good job last week of spreading the ball when Caleb Williams was throwing it. And so I think that gave them a huge advantage. But the Saints are giving up so many yards on defense.
Mm-hmm.
I just think like you can't do that and be like meh on offense and think you're going to win games.
And Caleb Williams is doing his thing. I feel like he's not getting enough credit. He's averaging 2.2 touchdowns per game this year.
True.
That is 6 among quarterbacks behind only Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Jared Goff, and Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I've been a hater, I
Yeah.
have to say. And that might not be warranted anymore. I do think in the beginning of the season it was, but I probably need to toot a different horn.
I feel like they're an up-and-coming team.
Sure.
I don't expect them to
I can
go
get
far.
behind that.
Like, I don't know if they'll make the playoffs. I wouldn't expect them to win a playoff game, but I do think they're an up-and-coming team with Ben Johnson for sure.
Sure.
Last game here, Panthers versus Jets.
Garbage.
I don't know if it's garbage
It
Well,
is
it is, but
garbage,
I'm taking the Jets,
which is so silly.
and you're taking the Panthers.
Of course, 0-7, baby.
Yeah, but the Panthers don't win on the road.
They're going to this week because Chuba Hubbard might be back. And if not, Rico Dowdle is
Yeah,
crushing
I think
it.
Hubbard being back is actually a bad thing. Rico Dowdle has been amazing.
But again, I think they have that option, right? Like, let's say they go through the first quarter and they're like, man, Hubbard is not it. Guess what?
Well, they'd be an idiot to move away from Dowdle. That's the second time I said idiot. That's not normally in my vocabulary.
I know, weird.
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 Dowdle needs to be the starter and needs to be the lead back. He has been crushing it. And I think these coaches are going to be stupid and try to play Hubbard too much. And I think that's bad for the Panthers in general. But also the Panthers are 0-3 on the road this year, 3-0 at home.
Sure.
Bryce Young in his career is 1-7 on the road.
Didn't you say
the
Justin
start.
Fields was -10 last week?
I think the Jets, all they have to do is just run the ball. Run the ball with Fields and with Breece Hall.
That's their
Just run
only
the ball.
option
Run the ball.
because they're not throwing it to
Yeah,
Wilson. They're not
well,
throwing
most
it to
likely
anybody.
Garrett Wilson will be out. So this is it's gonna be hard. But just run the
Listen.
ball. Run the ball. And their defense showed up last week against the Broncos. Their defense looked actually really, really good. So if their defense can be good and just stop, the Panthers, which is not that hard to do. If they're
The problem is, sure, their defense can show up, great. You still have to score points.
lean on the run game with Justin Fields and Breece Hall and just run all over them.
0-7.
I don't think so. I think they're going to win this game. I'm
Mhm.
going with the Jets. You're going with the Panthers.
Yeah.
We are done with our game previews, but we still have our 2-minute warning. Last week we did fantasy failure of the week, and this week we're going to do the opposite. We're going to do fantasy standout player of the week.
2-minute warning.
All right, to finish up today's show, we are going to give you our fantasy standout of the week. Nycole, who do you have?
Yeah, I went quarterback
Okay.
this week.
Okay.
And I went Jared Goff for reasons that we talked about earlier. I think the Bucs are so depleted. The Lions looked meh last week. I think they have to come out at home, like you mentioned earlier. They play very well. I think they're going to come out. Jared Goff has something to prove. He's going to throw the ball a bunch, get a lot of points up front, and then sail the rest of the game.
This is my question for you. I have Baker Mayfield and Jared Goff in the same league.
Oof.
And it's in the same game, and Baker Mayfield has been on fire, but Baker Mayfield has no wide receivers. Do you go Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield?
You have to go Jared Goff.
I have to go Jared Goff. It's in our league.
Oh, well, you're not playing me, so I don't care. But also we're in the same division, so I want you to lose.
Yeah, you want me to lose.
So Baker's a great
All
option.
right.
He has nobody to throw it to.
I know.
You know. So I mean, he doesn't really run it. I mean, I wouldn't bank on that. I would go Jared Goff every day of the week,
Okay. Every day of the week or just this week?
just on Sunday, Thursday,
Just on this
whenever
Sunday?
they play.
Okay.
Yeah.
They play Sunday night. I'm going to go Quinshon Judkins. I really suck at saying this guy's name, by the way. It's very, very hard to say, but Quinshon Judkins, the
Ooh.
rookie running back
Yeah.
for the Browns against the Dolphins. He's been on fire to start his career. He really fell off in week 6 against the Steelers, only scored 3.6 fantasy points, but he's been getting the volume. And he's going to get a lot of workload in this game against the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are just giving up so many fantasy points. Kamani Vidal for the Chargers last week scored 23 fantasy points
Wild.
against the Dolphins. Rico Dowdle the week before that, 32 fantasy points against them. And then even earlier in the season, Ramondre Stevenson and James Cook each scored over 20 fantasy points against the Dolphins. Quinshon Judkins is going to go off and be a top 5 fantasy running back this week.
Wow.
Wow.
Those are great stats, and you said his name so nice that
Thank
last
you.
time.
I know. That was the best.
So
one I
for
said
all
so
of those reasons, you should listen to her.
That is it for today's episode. I hope we are correct with our picks. I hope your favorite teams win. I hope your fantasy teams won. And we will be back with you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.